Aloha and welcome to this live program, Heart to Spirit Connections for February 2026. And isn't the new year speeding right along? Excuse me. I thought January was moving pretty slowly, but when we hit February, everything speeded up really fast. And it is a month that we talk about love and relationships and balance. And if you get my newsletter, you saw a little bit of introduction to our topic there. And you can sign up for newsletters at KarinnaNielsen.com. And this is, first of all, this is Heart to Spirit Connections, and it's a free monthly webcast every first Saturday of the month. And our focus is expanding our heart's connection with spiritual guidance and to feel the balance on all four bodies: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And so we're discovering new levels of love using the ancient tools of Lemurian wisdom, including the 10 principles, Lemurian numerology, and signature cell healing. So our topic today is sleep state program your relationships. And I think I was using this recently, and that's why the topic came up for me. It's like, how can we improve our relationships? And sometimes we have relationships that it's really hard to talk to the person. Maybe we're on the outs with them, or they live far away from us, or there's some kind of mitigating reason. Um, I know Kahu Fred Sterling always liked to use the example of when he was trying to get a bank loan, and he sent his higher self to the higher self of the bank manager. And soon after, he got his bank loan, which he really wasn't sure he would get. So that sealed it for him. And he used sleep state programming a lot, though he might not have talked about it that much. But before we get totally into the topic, let's start with an opening prayer. And as Master Guide Kirael and Kahu say, prayer is not necessarily a religious act. It's just an opening of the communication between us in the human world and the spirit world, our higher selves, um, guides and angels. And so we use prayer to open ourselves to that communication and to putting forth our intention for any occasion. So take a deep breath now, just like we do, excuse me, in the 5 breath self-healing meditation. Allow the golden particles as you breathe in through your nose to come down through your crown chakra and draw them through the pineal gland with the blueprint, where they turn into white light. And then just allow that energy to come down into your heart chakra and just feel the balance on the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual bodies. And when you exhale, just let it expand out from your heart in this case. And just take some nice deep breaths that way as I call upon the Creator's light, the Christ light, the Goddess weave of love, our Master Guide Kirael, the Master Kahu Fred, our angels, guides, and we certainly welcome all of our higher selves here today as we explore the topic of sleep state programming, our relationships, and what sleep state programming can do for us in healing ourselves and Mother Earth at this time of the great shift in consciousness on our planet. And we express our humble gratitude for all the guidance we receive and for the beautiful energies of love that we feel surrounding us every day, in humble love and gratitude. So it is in love. Amen. Okay, so that would just be a brief opening prayer. And I want to let you know that even though those of you that are here with me live, you can unmute yourself and ask a question at any time, and I'll get you, or just raise your hand. or you can also put it into the chat. And for those of you joining on the recording, thank you so much for seeking out the recording. And you can find all the recordings on my YouTube channel or on my website at KarinnaNielsen.com. On the Heart to Spirit Connections page, there's a link. So, getting to the Lemurian numerology for this month, since it's the second month, it's a 2 energy. And that in the Lemurian numerology reflects balance. And it's balancing this yin yang energy that we have in the third dimension and taking it to a higher level of balance. And that could be the Trinity balance of truth, trust, and passion, the first 3 principles in the 10 principles of consciously creating. And you can find that on our webcast webpage on my website. There's all this information about the 10 principles. There's the book back here. And sleep state programming is the powerful 9th principle that we're going to talk about today. But the energy for this month is an energy of balance. And I see you have those with you there, right? The 10 principles. Thank you, Mayanaku. What I discovered in working on this topic was the 10 principles, or at least sleep state programming, is found in almost all of the Kahu and Kirael books. So I've got all of them here too. It's in Guide to the Unseen Self. You could probably find it in here, Lemurian Legacy. Definitely in the back of this book, Kirael the Great Shift. And then, of course, there's the textbook for the 10 principles. And sorry, that's my working copy that I've been putting highlight in for years. And the sleep state program is such a powerful principle. There is a recording with Master Guide Kirael and Kahu, which I'll put on the YouTube comments so you can access it. Called Sleep State Programming, the Powerful 9th Principle. And it's an awesome session with Master Guide Kirael from many years ago, talking about sleep state programming. But there's a lot that you can avail yourself of to learn more about sleep state programming, because this program is short and we can only just kind of delve into it. But getting back to the the month of Valentine's Day and relationships and love and what we consider love of the third dimension, sleep state programming can really help us to elevate out of that yin yang that we might find ourselves in. And what do I mean by yin yang? I'm talking about when we find ourselves humbly in judgment of something, this is good and that's bad, and it's a natural thing for humans to have this, assessment or judgment of something that's going on. But when we can elevate ourselves out of it and get a higher perspective of love for everything and everyone, and especially knowing that where we are at any moment is a perfect place for us to be. And then we can move forward. If we choose to change that, we can move forward with the 10 principles of consciously creating to consciously create a different scenario for our lives, or move forward through the blueprint that we created. And that's in our signature cell. That's why they call it signature cell healing, because we're healing the lesson plans in the blueprint with that form of healing. So getting back to the numerology again, and I'm dancing all around it, you might want to also know what your Lemurian life path number is. And you find that out by adding the month, the day, and the year, all those numbers together, and come down to 1 digit. And that is a really important number. For example, I'm a 5. If I add up all the numbers in my birth date, I will come to a 5, and that 5 is the number for love. So when I add my number to the number of the month, then I see that I'm in a seven energy. So this is a transition month for me in so many ways. And I may, talk about that a little bit. We're going to say goodbye to one of our cats pretty soon. And so that's a big transition for us. Um, there's all kinds of things coming because this month, and I'm sure you've heard about it, there's a lot of larger planetary alignments and energies that will affect, reflect what's going on in the earth plane. So it's not like the energy of the planets is going to determine what happens on Earth. That's for me, that's not the way it works. What it works as is a reflection. And that worked for me because everything is a reflection in our lives. So what we choose to pay attention to and give energy to, that's we're going to see more of it. It's kind of like your Instagram or Facebook algorithm. The more you pay attention to this, the more you're going to get more of this. And I've noticed that recently. I was thinking, why is this always coming up for me over here? And I think, oh, okay, that's what I'm always reading. So that's what's going to come up. And it's like that in life, don't you think? That where the energy goes, that's where our attention goes, right? Where our attention goes, that's where the energy flows. And so, we've got this kind of thing going on with, planets in the sky, but it's just a reflection what's going on Earth. So we, like my astrology school always said, we inform the mysteries as much as they inform us. So the sky, what's going on in the sky informs what's going on in the planet, and we in turn send that energy out into the cosmos. So just pay attention to the dates this month. There is a 20th of, yeah, 20th of February that we would want to pay attention to as a big planetary alignment of Saturn and Neptune, which, at that time we might find that things start to fall in order for us. The things that were kind of nebulous for a while might start to line up, and you might just see a new organization in something in particular that you might have been working on. Maybe not, but maybe you will. And that's also a 2-2 energy, right? So that could be interesting where you see this incredible balance come forth. And yeah, it's a great month for balance. And that's why I brought up the sleep state programming. So before we get into that too far, we're gonna bring forth the Lemurian prophecy cards because Sandra, who usually comes live on the program, was not able to join us today. So we're going to have dedicate our card to Sandra today because she loves the Lemurian prophecy cards. And the Lemurian prophecy cards are just, a regular card deck, and you can do this too. The suits, the four suits, are of course, the diamonds, hearts, and clubs and spades. And that corresponds to the four bodies of physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And then the rest follows the numerology, except for the face cards. And if you want to know more about it, I do Lemurian card readings, or I can teach you how to do it. And also, we do this in our signature cell healing online workshops. Thanks to Tatiana, who requested that we learn it in the workshop. And so we have that now as a regular feature. So we'll have another one later this year of signature cell healing online workshop. And I hope you'll join me for that. And information would be in my newsletter for that. So everybody, I've shuffled 5 times and put love into the cards. So everyone send your energy into the cards, those of you here live. And we'll pick up the energy from the people coming in because we know time is an illusion. And I'll cut the cards in half and take the top card and what we have. Oh, wonderful. So we have with us today the energy of the goddess light. And the hearts is the energy of love. And it's so perfect for our February topic and for the month of February that we remember the goddess love within all of us, male or female. And that's what the queen represents, is the divine feminine within all of us, and the nurturing energy of love. And of course, the hearts is the emotional body. So it's a time for us to tap in this month into our emotional body and into the energy of love and healing. And we'll put the card right there. And we thank you, Sandra, for sending your energy in, and we get the goddess light. So thank you so much. Okay, so um, does that bring up any questions before we go on? Because I don't want to ramble if you have a question or a share, even a share. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's look at the sleep state programming. And, um, it's interesting because I put in the back of this book, Kirael the Great Shift, when this is the second edition, right? It was updated. And by the way, if you don't have these print books, you can purchase them on signaturecellhealing.com online store. And when you buy one, I will send you free CDs with it, at least two, because it'll fit in the envelope. So just know that when you purchase a print book, you're going to get free CDs, and that's a limited time offer until I get, don't have any more CDs. So, so anyway, in the back of this book is a brief um, explanation of sleep state programming, and I found it really refreshing and very clear what Master Guide Kirill says about it in that part. And just to as so you understand, it's about that the average human spends between 6 and 8 hours in the sleep state, ideally, right? And the common thought is that sleep is a waste of time, but the essence of your consciousness is pure energy and it's in constant motion. So even if you're sleeping, your higher self, or your consciousness, if you prefer to hear it that way, is able to journey out and go and do things. Now, the higher self needs direction from you. It's human. You can tell your higher self what to do. And that's the interesting thing about sleep state programming. It's it's programming your higher self to do something that would help you. And so the higher self, going on about what Master Kirill said in this quote, the higher self is not limited by the physical realities of the third dimensional body. Therefore, it has no boundaries and can be programmed to perform certain functions that the physical body cannot. Remember, this whole adventure called life experience has been laid out with growth as the master plan. Anything with potential for growth can be worked on in the higher order. So on the high level of higher energy with your higher self. So I love that idea of everything going on in our lives is a life experience and meant for growth. So when you get, if you feel like something is difficult or you're frustrated with something, just remember it's about growth. And we can use the sleep state programming to facilitate things that we want. So, I mean, you can use like the simple example I use with Kahu getting the bank loan. That's fine. But what about, a relationship with a sister or a brother or a good friend that might need a little bit of help? You might want to balance. And what you can do is, well, Master Kirill goes on here and says the simplicity of sleep state programming, it is really simple, is its largest detriment, as many believe that in order for anything to be of real value, it must be either extremely complicated or very expensive. And this is neither, right? This is very simple to do. So what you would do is this, before you go to sleep, sit on the edge of your bed and imagine, you're speaking to your higher self. You're telling your higher self what you want in love, right? It's something that is a positive, for the good of all, helpful energy. And it won't work if it's something, really pernicious. Let's say it's something you're trying to get somebody through coercion to do something. This is not how this works. The 10 principles have to be done in love. And so when you're imagining what you want, and I ask you right now, imagine something that you could use sleep state programming with, whether it's communicating with someone far away. It doesn't even have to be somebody you know. You can even use it to communicate with energies that have passed to the other side. And for example, maybe you want to talk to Einstein. Maybe you want to get some energy or some information or wisdom from a great scientist that is not no longer on the earth plane. You can send your higher self to communicate with, a whole council of scientists or doctors or whatever. Even if you're going into a surgery, let's say, you could send your higher self into all the people that are going to be the anesthesiologist, the doctor, the assistants, all of them. Sleep state programming them in advance for them to be sharp that day, the highest light, everything works out for the highest good of all. And I mean, it's limitless. It really is limitless. So think limitless possibilities with this. And the only way you can limit it is by thinking, well, I wonder if that really works, I'm not sure about that. You really do need to believe and put your heart into it. Put your heart into it. What do you got to lose, right? So give it a try. And like I've used it with relationships, specifically with cousins that I haven't seen for a long time. We're going to get somebody in here. I've used it with people, relatives that I haven't seen for years and years. I was going to suddenly get together with them because of a funeral or something like that. So I could send my higher self to my cousin's higher self and just say, we haven't seen each other for a while. I really pray that this this gathering that we have for this funeral or this memorial service or whatever is happening is going to be a beautiful experience for everyone, and everyone feels the love, and we have a conflict-free kind of gathering. And you can do that. Hey, how about Thanksgiving? That's the time when we all get together with family, right? Or Christmas, for the holidays. So, how about now, because we're in the month of Valentine's and relationships, how about we have something like this for our spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend that you can, if you think, well, I really, for the highest good of all, for both of us, could you try to do this, or, maybe, I don't know, put your socks away or something like that. Something that you feel in love would elevate and balance the relationship for the good of both of you. And like I said, if it's kind of, like coercion or something to do something wrong, it's not going to work. And you're going to create karma. And we don't want to do that. So you just do it from your heart and don't worry, okay, well, I wonder if this is not coercion or something. Don't worry about it. It's not going to work if it is a little on the dark side. And Master Guy Kirael talks about that in the books. I think especially in the 10 Principles book that you see back there, the blue one. That is really the textbook for the 10 Principles. And the ninth chapter is all about sleep state programming. You'll also find in this book, Guide to the Unseen Self, there's a whole chapter on the 4 pillars of prayer, meditation, sleep state programming, and masterminding. And there's really nice questions and answers about sleep state programming because that's how we learn in the questions and answers about, people are asking questions that we might have, right? So does that bring up any questions? Sleep state program is pretty simple. It's just a matter of doing it. And if you have, for example, I also use sleep state programming with groups. So I have a goddess group, and we have a specific time in the when we're all asleep that we meet at a specific place on this island to gather our higher selves to work on the things that are in our mastermind. So it's sleep state programming is an enhancement to masterminding. So like for example, if you were in a large choir and you were doing concerts, maybe, like for example, this month you might have a concert. You could send, I mean, it just happens that Gloria is here, that you might send your higher self to everyone in the choir. All the higher selves gather. And, I guess, to really do it effectively, everybody would have to know. You really do have to know if you're in a group that you're going to be there at this time. So what you could do with, short of that, would just be to send your higher self to the higher selves of everybody in the choir and the director and the venue where you're going to have that concert, that everything lines up perfectly, that it's clean, it's all in order, there's no electrical issues, everything is perfect. And you do that every night until you have the concert. And then see if you've elevated, it's a way you can elevate the energy of that performance. And you can also sleep state programming all the people that are going to come to that event, right? They're all going to remember, like I didn't last time, remember to go to the concert. And so you can use sleep state programming beyond, just a one-on-one relationship. You can do it with groups. And if you're in a group that's small, like, two, three, four, five people, you could elevate your experience by agreeing on a place, somewhere around you, maybe a sacred space, like a sacred um, energy where there's a temple or there's a stone circle or something like that. And everybody meets there with their higher selves in sleep state at this particular time. And at that time, everybody works on the harmony of the group and, how are the relationships in the group and bring everything into a very a nice level of love. So you can use it with groups as well. If you're in a relationship where your partner is open to learning about sleep state programming, you could agree with your partner and say, hey, let's, just before you go to bed, send your higher self over to this place or up above the bed or something like that at this time, and our higher selves will work on our relationship and bringing it to balance, or doing, we all kind of shift in a little loving way so that everybody is happy. Try it and use it as you can. If you want, I suggest you do it, and then next month we'll talk about it. um, but if you have no questions right now, and by the way, welcome, Michelle, nice to have you with us. um, let's just do a short meditation, and we're going to practice a little bit with this sleep state programming a little bit and see how we can get out of our human selves and use this. And let me tell you also, and this is for someone else who's not wasn't able to make it today. Yes, it works globally. So send your higher self to different places around the world where you feel light is needed, and send your higher self um, with the highest light intention to bring light to any particular area. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. No, I'm not. Okay. Um, and allow the energies. Wait, I keep thinking I'm gonna sneeze here. Sorry. Okay, I'm not. And and let the light permeate that area. And you might even see, well, that's another thing you can do. You can ask your higher self to help you remember where you've been in your sleep state. So you can help ask to remember your dreams, first of all, but you can also ask to remember where am I going when I'm asleep? Where's my higher self going? I want to remember that. And then have a piece of paper and a pen next to your bed. And when you wake up, just, journal it or maybe take it into your meditation, your morning meditation, and write out where you've been, and maybe you only remember like a word or something. I remember this morning when I woke up, I think I must have gone in advance to the Super Bowl today because all I could see was a Bad Bunny's face when I came out of meditation. So I think I was seeing the halftime of tomorrow's Super Bowl. It was really funny because it's a real contentious thing, I think, in the United States right now. And I think my higher self was going into this energy of, tomorrow's game to just kind of, or is it today? I'm not sure. Anyway, it was kind of um, whatever. But you can do that with your higher self, right? Ask, yeah, I want to remember my dreams. I want to know where I've gone. Yeah. Okay, so let me just ask you to just kind of sit back and relax and do that breathing like we do in the five breath self-healing meditation. If you're not familiar with that, there's information about that on signaturecellhealing.com. And it's a type of a meditation that we do 2 to 3 times a day. It's very relaxing and very helpful in these times. So just sit back, and as you breathe in through your nose, imagine the energy of love, the golden particles coming through your crown chakra and coming through the pineal gland with the blueprint in the signature cell and changing into white light as you bring it down into your heart chakra, where you weave all four bodies together: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And just allow that energy of love to expand from your heart. And just keep breathing until you expand that energy out through the physical, the emotional, the mental body, and the spiritual body. And keep breathing as you feel yourself expanding this light, until you feel your connection and your oneness with the Creator and with all of creation. Because we know the separation between what we feel is creation. There is no separation. It's an illusion that we use so we can have a human experience. But we want to go beyond that now. So expand your light and just feel yourself part of this weave. Just feel yourself moving out, move your awareness out of your physical body. So begin to see yourself move out in front of your physical body and turn around and have a look at it and just realize that's you. That's you in this incarnation, your time on earth. But you are so much more. You are so large and limitless. So keep breathing and send the light now. Expand your light. And as you turn back around, start to see the weave of all light. And you're a part of that weave. And you can send your light and your love into that weave of consciousness. It surrounds our planet. it permeates Mother Earth and it goes out into the universe and connects with all that is. So though we feel as humans we feel separate, we are really truly not. So just send your light now into that weave and find someone that you can send your love to in this weave. Find a place, a person, a situation, anything. And it can be anywhere on this planet. So maybe you seek out your a sibling, or you seek out someone that you work with, or you seek out some place where you feel they need more light. Send your light to the Olympics in Italy and all the people enjoying the sports. Send your light anywhere you feel that you're drawn to as a light worker on this planet. And just feel your light now go into that weave. And it may just go somewhere that you're not even aware of, but you know your love is making a difference. Your love is making a difference for humanity and for our planet, for Mother Earth, and the great shifting consciousness, because we all have our goddess light active now, and we're sending that out into this beautiful weave of consciousness. I'll just give you a minute to just focus into that weave and watch your light up the planet, light up the weave. And keep breathing and feel the love, because you're part of this weave. We're all part of this weave, and we all nurture ourselves with this love. And now take a moment to begin to bring your energy back. You know that you can always come back here and do this meditation and send light into the weave of consciousness around Mother Earth, or find someone's higher self, meeting with your higher self in sleep state programming. Find someone in that weave that you want to communicate with in love. So come back gradually now and feel yourself now turning around, and you see your human self sitting there where we began. And just send this incarnation, who you are, so much love for doing this journey on Earth. And know you're doing a grand job. That came from Master Kirael. A grand job. And just set yourself now back into your human self, into your physical body, and just feel yourself gradually coming back into where you began your meditation, and join us again here. Okay. And as you come back gradually, I hope you enjoyed that meditation, and I'll make a note on the YouTube where it is so you can go directly back to that minute where we started. I just want to also, as you're coming back, announce that if you're a graduate of a previous signature cell healing workshop with me or with Kahu Sterling, or anyone else that was teaching over the years, I'd like to invite you to join the graduates review session every third Saturday. And we have a wonderful gathering of goddess lights, And the tuition includes your the Zoom call and all the free study materials, also the over 2 years of replays of classes that we've done on all kinds of different topics. So that's available to you when you sign up for the monthly class. And I would love to have you join it. It's a wonderful, nurturing group of goddess lights. And our next global healing meditation for Mother Earth, which is kind of like what we were doing today. You just do it on your own at 9 o'clock, and it'll be February 28th, 2026. So at 9 o'clock, your local time, and you do it from wherever you are and send your light into Diamond Head here in Honolulu, Hawaii. And it's a beautiful gathering of light workers and healers from around the world. Also, our next Heart to Spirit Connections webcast will be the first Saturday of March, March 7th. And I hope you'll join me again then. Um, do we have any shares from our meditation this morning or
Karinna,
everybody?
I have a question.
Yes, Tatiana, please.
Talking about the word meditation, like earth meditations, which we're doing every month, I want to make sure that yeah, I'm doing the correct way. The way I'm doing, I'm turning my face to Pacific Ocean, where the Hawaii is, where the Diamond Head Mount is, and sending the light there. My question is how long I have to take it, and do I have to send only the light, or do we have to do something else, something more?
Um, Okay, so you're talking about the global healing meditation for Mother Earth.
Yes.
I want to
Hmm.
clarify that. And then yeah, so for me it's about half an hour as far as the time frame. It can be up to you. It could be a little less, a little more.
Hmm.
And what I do is I first do the five breath self-healing meditation and I center myself, in that light. And then I said, I think I put this on the web page for the global healing meditation at KarinnaNielsen.com. But anyway, you send your light down into the core light of Mother Earth and feel her love, connect to Mother Earth, and then bring your light back up into your heart. I'm so glad you asked this. And then you send your light to Diamond Head, and there's a photo there to guide you into Diamond Head Crater, which is quite large, and there's a kukui grove, a grove of trees, of kukui trees there. And that's specifically where I send the energy, and a group of us send it into that kukui grove. And when we do the meditation, I look for the others to weave together first, to weave all the energies, because by the time we get there from Hawaii, the rest of the earth is already sent at their 9 o'clock, right? So the energy is there. And so I weave it together and then I start to send it out around Mother Earth into different places. So for me personally, I'm like I'm flying through that weave that we just did in this meditation, through the weave of consciousness into different areas and planting the weave in different ways. And I think Mahina Ku does it differently. I think you go up to the moon, which makes sense, and then send your light back down. So I mean there's different, however you're called to do it. Once you get there to Diamond Head, you might take the weave out and take it around. And you're a purple goddess, Tatiana, so it might be that that you're sensitive to different areas around the planet, that need that weave. So you could send it, into parts of Europe, for example, or into wherever. Does that help?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Yeah, it always helps to have kind of a visual. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Yes, you mentioned choral singing. Can I expand on that a little bit?
Sure.
On Oahu, if you're on Oahu, it's going to be Sunday, February the 22nd at 4 in the afternoon at Kailua United Methodist Church on Kailua Road. And it's the Windward Choral Society's Guide My Feet, presentation of our 10th annual Gospel Heritage Concert.
I get
So
chicken skin just talking
pardon?
about. I'm getting chicken skin right when you read that. I think it's going to be great.
Oh, well, and it's gospel, most of it's gospel songs, and the congregation will join in singing on a few of them. But the energy that comes from gospel music is just amazing.
Wonderful. Yeah, I agree. I love gospel music. So thank you, Gloria, and good. Have fun sleep state programming your choir.
Yeah, that's going to be a challenge. I'm not, I'm an Aries and I just, I bounce around. I don't.
Oh, well, Aries is a focused energy. I'm one too, So you bring that focus now. I bet you have something else that's kind of maybe you're more Pisces.
I don't know.
Anyway, that is a great opportunity because you know those people. You've been in the choir for a while. You can just try it. Just tell your higher self, okay, please go to the higher selves in sleep state of all the choir, including some you might not have the best relationship with. I mean, it's possible. It's a choir. People are different.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, just see what happens, and we'll check with you next month.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Oh,
One more question, Karina.
yeah, sure. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
When you try to fix a relationship with someone, you invite his higher self and yourself to meet and talk. Do I have to tell this person in advance and I'm gonna ask his higher work, or I can work without his consent?
You can send your higher self. I mean, if the person is open to the 10 principles and sleep state programming, um, yeah, you could kind of create a mastermind in that way. But if not, then do it, from your heart in love. And I kind of question the word fix.
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, fix is kind of yeah, because what you want to do is balance, I think, maybe, and that's the theme of this month anyway, is, how can we balance the relationship so it feels loving and balanced for both parties.
Mm.
And that's what you can tell your higher self is please go to this other person's higher self, and let him know that I'm looking for a more balanced relationship. And you can even say, different things that would feel more balanced to you, like more help or, more love, or whatever that you feel might help. And, it needs to be something loving and in love.
Mm.
And you're going to get feedback. That's the important thing too, is that you use the sleep state programming with the other 9 principles, that you weave truth into your sleep state programming, trust and passion, and you weave clarity, communication, and completion into what you're doing. And then, of course, prayer, meditation, and masterminding, and the whole thing comes together with the sleep state programming. So, it can be very, very simple, but you can also weave those other 10 principles into what you're doing to make it even more effective.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tatiana. All right, anybody else? Okay. Yes, Wendy, please.
Trying to do this without coughing because I'm missing some of my lung, but I think I'm doing pretty well. And when you mentioned medical teams, Karina, I've known Michelle since high school, and Mary Faith, so they both knew my mother. And she raised us, I mean, she raised me, but to use our higher selves to resolve situations with other higher selves. So when I was going in for this surgery, which was major, I I did that, and I remembered to do that, and use sleep state programming and worked with the whole team, the higher selves, to create a successful outcome of a 6-hour surgery. And during that time, they actually had a power outage, so
Wow.
everything came to a halt. And so later they told me about it, and it was, not expected. But they all worked through it, and they called in someone else. It's so many people there. And I was so grateful that I used my higher selves.
Perfect. Oh, thank you so much for sharing it. I'm so glad you're back with us and you're able to speak.
Yes,
I know that wasn't you weren't able to
yes.
do that for a while.
Thank
And
you
we're
for all
just
your prayers.
so grateful to have you with us, Wendy. You're such a blessing.
I feel fortunate to be with all of you. So
Yes. Well, thank you. And your mom was a incarnate master.
it was powerful.
Yes, and boy, to have a mom like that raising you in the spiritual light, that's incredible. That's just wonderful. Yeah, and to know that she knew that this is just one experience in the conglomerate of all our lives and what we experience on Earth or other planets or wherever, and that we have this ability to come out of it and get into the weave and communicate on a higher level with other energies. That's just such a gift, yeah. So thank you, Wendy, for sharing that. That really is the essence of sleep state programming. And we're going to go into a little more depth of this in our graduates review class this month. And I'll be sending out the invitation for that. This is you know, a deeper treatment of this. And I also have some study materials that I'm going to be sharing with you folks. So anyway, that comes on the third Saturday, but I will see the rest of you again in March on the first Saturday. And I'm so grateful for all of you being here. Thank you, Mary Faith and Gloria and Mahinaku and Michelle. Nice to see you here. And Tatiana, Wendy, always a pleasure. We blessing everyone for this month of February. Do your 5 breath self-healing meditation this month and do it several times a day because we're going to need to stay in balance and in love. And that's just the energy that we're in right now. So thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing everyone next month. Aloha, everyone from Lemuria. Thank you so much.